Nephtali1981 is a Christian YouTuber that preaches end times doctrine. The basic belief is that the end of the world is going to happen, and soon. And everything from global conflicts in the Middle East to natural disasters are signs pointing to the return of Christ and the judgment of all souls. In my experiences, it revolves around fearmongering and keeping followers in line with whatever beliefs the leader of such a group wishes to instill. Many times, the preacher will claim to have made predictions about what has come to pass, as Nephtali does in the video I viewed. According to his Twitter bio, Nephtali makes Bible-based documentaries on the end times, and one only needs look to the thumbnail of the video in question to see the blatant fearmongering that will make up much of his documentary. I watched his documentary called Metaverse, Antichrist Playground in Your Mind. The first thing I noticed was the clickbait title. I was unsure if Nephtali was talking specifically about the product being developed by Meta, formerly the Facebook company, but was instead met with a 40-minute long video that declared the internet, AI, algorithms, and virtual reality were going to lead to some demonic entity that would censor Christians, leaving them unable to spread the word of God and drag all the people of the world into ungodly pursuits. He also peppered in some scriptures for good measure, often citing 2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, that I will receive you. Calling to fellow Christians to prepare yourselves for this division between transhumanists that wish to force you to live in a digital world, and the brave, true believers like himself that see this as a trap and mark of the beast. This video is yet another entry in the ongoing series of Christians growing fearful of technology that they don't understand. This is by no means a new phenomenon. See the Chick track that features one of the scriptures Nephtali quotes, and linked Wired article about barcodes being the mark of the beast. Part 1. The setup. Nephtali talks about all the data that the AI or entity collects, and how it will be used to pull people into the metaverse. Data collection and privacy on the internet is a very important issue, and one that is totally rational to be concerned about in this day and age. The issue with this take is that Nephtali has the enemy wrong. Demons are not collecting your data, corporations are. Companies like Meta, Amazon, and Alphabet, aka Google, collect tons of data and sell that to advertisers and marketing campaigns, the goal being to extract as much value out of each human as possible. Nephtali, I encourage you to think about the pressure and fears you are feeling about this data collection, but target it towards those actually responsible. Challenging those responsible is the only way to make any meaningful change. Being fearful of an imagined evil entity will not do anything. Part 2. Demonic Foreshadowing. According to Nephtali, the demonic entities behind the plot to drag us all into the metaverse started by foreshadowing in popular science fiction properties like Star Trek and 2001: A Space Odyssey, which showed us technologies that would soon become realities, pointing to items that looked like smartphones and telecommunication applications like video conferencing. In this section, he does mistake Star Trek: The Next Generation and Voyager for the original series based on his estimated date ranges, but in the interest of fairness, I understand the spirit of the argument, even if the evidence provided is shaky at best. Nephtali is not alone in his mistrust of the science fiction genre. In 2001, David Laughlin published an article in the Journal of Creation entitled Science Fiction, A Biblical Perspective, in which he argues that despite its prediction of many beneficial technologies, the genre is permeated with unrealism, humanism, occultism, New Age philosophy, and Eastern mysticism. If he wrote the article today, I wouldn't be surprised to see transhumanism appended to that list. Science fiction has led to the inspiration for new and better technologies for the world, but I believe that the issue facing Nephtali and likely Laughlin is the misunderstanding that technology is about applying knowledge for the advancement of humankind. It is always seeking to become better, faster, more efficient. It's why cell phone technology has gone from blocky satellite phones to slim smartphones that are more powerful than the original PC I had back in the early aughts. The thought that virtual reality headsets are going to improve is not a surprise, it is a fact. Now, whether we will ever get to the point where it becomes some sort of biotech implant remains to be seen. It would be safe, secure, and pass a whole boatload of regulatory bodies before it could even get to trials, much less large-scale production and use. Marvel-style stinger for climate change video. So for a bit, Nephtali talks about climate change. he asserts that the powers that be are spinning the final judgment to be climate change. And then, quite uncharitably I might add, points to the silliest climate change argument he could find, that being cow-based emissions. This video isn't about climate change, and he promises a future video on that topic. If you are going to talk about climate change, I would recommend looking into pollution figures for factories, companies, landfills, cars, and more serious contributors, instead of taking the cowardly way out. Part 3, The Matrix. Okay, I'm gonna level with you. I'm so tired of people misunderstanding the Matrix. I know that the right has co-opted the term red pill, and I've had to deal with that for years. I will now give you the most basic reading of the Matrix. The Matrix is a story about conformity and societal expectations, and what happens when you decide to accept who you are and fight back. The digital construct of the Matrix is representative of society. Taking the red pill is the self-assertion of who you are, regardless of what society expects from you. Agent Smith represents the authority of figures in society that will use force to keep those on the fringes in line. Taking the red pill and having to fight for your very identity is supposed to be a hard choice because it will make you an enemy of societal norms and those who enforce them. Thank you for attending my short reading of The Matrix. Hopefully you will now understand the film. Part 4, Demonic Realm of Data. At 25 minutes into the video, he finally makes the point he has been working towards. Nephtali claims that we will have made the Metaverse an idol, where comfort comes from the digital world and not God. Handing over all our data to these demons will allow them to control every aspect of our lives. The new Metaverse will censor Christians so heavily that they will be unable to communicate. Furthermore, the censorship has already begun. The algorithm buries Christian videos. Okay, so 2 things. 1, I've looked into Christian censorship online. I even used the demonic Google. I had no issues finding a plethora of different Bible study groups, articles, and different foundations. When I searched for Christian censorship, the #1 result I found over and over again were social media takedowns when Christians were talking about issues related to sex, abortion, and gender. They claimed that they were being silenced and their First Amendment rights were violated. But here is the thing. The First Amendment protects you from facing legal charges. Private businesses like social media platforms have no obligation to host videos, tweets, articles, or anything of the like that promote ideas that cause harm to marginalized groups. Based on comments that Nephtali makes at the end of his video, I imagine that he has some experience in this regard. 2. I found Nephtali's video specifically by searching for Christian YouTubers. I literally Googled Christian YouTubers, clicked on a top 10 list, and his name was at the top. When I clicked on his channel, the video I'm talking about was the featured item and began autoplaying. As soon as I heard what he was saying, I knew I found what I was looking for. So much for not being able to find specifically videos like this. Part 5, Random Issues. This is a collection of items I noticed throughout that I couldn't find a good place for in the sections above. Some of these issues would keep me from having a civil discussion with Nephtali, so if he ever does see this and wishes to reach out, don't bother. As I alluded to earlier, Nephtali has likely faced censorship. His Vimeo account was taken down, and even though he lists it in his YouTube description, it has yet to be restored as of the recording of this video.
If you visited the website and the video archives is not there, it's not on purpose. Because of some documentaries that I made on a topic which we cannot speak on the internet of, we've been banned on Vimeo. Our Roku channel was taken down, suspended on YouTube. A bunch of crazy stuff that I'm not the only one who's going through it. Many of you are as well. So it is what it is. All of those videos will be updated, and just give it a little bit of time. It'll get back to functioning.
I also want to note that of his 40-minute video, there were ads used to showcase the different augmented reality products that were being released, and that accounted for about 15 minutes of his 40-minute video. Finally, Here's a showcasing of clips where he demonstrates misogyny, homophobia, and transphobia.
This is only possible when you have this type of a society. 2 Timothy 3 verses 1 through 5. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. When you think of a Metaverse, that's exactly what you see. In fact, there's a lot of people that play in the online world and they make a character that has abs, right? There are females that will make a character on there that has all sorts of abs, guys as well. But when you look at them in real life, we just got a bunch of donuts down there. Eating a lot of Twinkies, right? It's a fake world, man. All right? It's not a real world. It's like when you look at Facebook. Have couples on there always posting like they happy all the time. No, you're not happy. Stop. You know? I've always told people when they're going to go on a date because of a Facebook picture, hey, listen, that Facebook picture is as good as it's going to get. It's not going to show you who you're probably going to wake up to the next morning after you're married. Okay? But we live in such a world where filters for this and filters for that. And let's change this. Listen, man, reality is not like that. But the virtual world allows a person to be something that they're not. The Antichrist spirit is alive and well. Satan has distorted good. The good is called evil. The evil is called good. Satan has distorted God's creation. The boundaries of what male and female are destroyed via all of the acronyms of the LGBTQ, LMNOP, and you can keep on adding letters on there. The boundaries.
So in my estimation, Nephtali leaves much to be desired. The goal of this video is to bring fear about a new technology into the lives of Christians under the guise of simply warning his fellow believers. He claims an insidious plot has been enacted that will cultivate in humans being made into walking computers living in a digital world. He wants you to be prepared to step away from technology and be willing to break off communications with your friends, family, and loved ones should some vague time where the world is plunged into some digital dystopia occur. Well, Nephtali, I'm not impressed. I likely won't watch any more of your videos, but I hope you work through your issues and see the real world. Please take a look at the description for attribution to the arts and music used in this production. A special shout out goes to Escape Sound for assisting in the editing and audio production of this video, as well as the DeadString Orchestra for use of We Choose to Go to the Moon. As always, stay safe everybody, and remember, I loves ya.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and make